A new poll tonight shows more than half of Republicans are dissatisfied with Trump as their nominee. Vlad, party leaders believe they can block any procedural moves aimed at derailing Trump, but they are girding for a tough debate in Cleveland and possibly one, maybe more, anti-Trump floor demonstrations.
Major, with regards to that poll, does this further fuel the sort of anti-Trump activists? Because they sort of started to get it off the ground a couple of times before, and it's always sputtered to a stop.
Yeah, so fuel is an interesting noun in this conversation. It's a big tank. There's still not much fuel in it, and not really much of an engine to drive it in any particular direction. Look, there is still a sense of anxiety, bordering on angst among certain segments of the Republican Party. It manifests itself in this latest NBC Wall Street Journal poll. 52% of Republicans self-identified dissatisfied, only 45% satisfied. Trump's running at about 80% among Republicans. Mitt Romney ran at 93%, still lost. So there are these problems Republicans have with Trump. But is there an alternative? Is there someone willing or ready to fill the breach if by some strange bit of procedural and political magic Trump is denied the nomination? No, there isn't. So this movement continues. It continues to cycle through lots of different options, but has it been true throughout this campaign? Options are many, realistic ones, few.
Major, we're also learning that Donald Trump may be backing away from his proposed Muslim ban. His policy director, Stephen Miller, told the Wall Street Journal that Trump instead wants to suspend temporarily immigration from regions that have been a major source for terrorists. So what do you make of this?
Well, this process began more than 2 weeks ago in a speech that Trump gave in New Hampshire, where he took Muslim out of this conversation and instead applied a much more vague, general description of pockets of the world, by implication, Middle Eastern parts of the world specifically, but not through rhetoric, in which immigration to this country by any means, student visas, refugee status, other mechanisms would be subject to extra scrutiny, a much higher degree of scrutiny than, let's say, other forms of legal immigration. And it's that part of the speech, more than 2 weeks old, that the Trump campaign is now sort of landing on or re-emphasizing. So the Muslim ban is not part of Trump rhetoric, hasn't been for 2 weeks, and as a matter of policy and if he became president, legislation, it was never going to happen in the first place. It had, not to mention many political blowback components to it, numerous constitutional problems with it as well. So it was always rhetorical on the stump. It was never practical as a matter of policy or law. Now the rhetorical part has been withdrawn, and it's been an erasure that is now almost 2.5 weeks old.
All right, Major Garrett reporting for us in Washington. Thanks, Major.
Sure.